Hi, Sharon. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for coming on, Sharon. So, just here to say hello to everyone. Here to say hello to everyone and see how everyone is doing. If you don't mind me, I'm eating. Just here to say hi and see how everyone is doing. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Just here to say hello and see how everyone is doing. As you get in, ahead and like for me, like and share for me. Today's Monday, but it doesn't feel like Monday. It doesn't feel like Monday at all. It doesn't feel like Monday at all, guys. So I hope you all are doing well. Now that quick tip that I put out, several persons have gotten in touch with me and asked me to do. Several persons have gotten in touch with me and asked me to do a full episode on it. They want me to talk more about the interview process and changing jobs and just feeling overwhelmed in the job that they're in now. One of the things that I've used over the years about feeling overwhelmed in jobs is looking at the job you're doing and to see if you're working at your full potential. Because when we're not working at our full potential, that's when we get overwhelmed. And what do I mean by that? That's one of the reasons we get overwhelmed. What do I mean by that? You're in a job that you're overqualified for. You're in a job that you're overqualified for. So you're working below your educational standard. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. So as I said, there are a number of reasons individuals can get overwhelmed with job. One of them I find is working below your potential. If you're just doing a job just to make money, and this is what I call the meantime moment, that you're really looking for something that is going to use your skills, your experience, and your education, then try to continue. Thank you. Try to continue to look in the areas that you know you're qualified for. Other thing I would suggest is speaking to your supervisor. Speaking to your supervisor to see if you can get more responsibilities. Look for advancement on the job. Look for opportunity to just lend a hand. Look for opportunities to just lend a hand, helping someone else out in their task. Maybe, you get your work done faster and they're struggling. Ask them, how can I help you? Another thing is looking at your own life and see if you're stagnant in your life. When was the last time you took a couple of days off just to do nothing? Just to take a ride? One of the things I talk about a lot is doing things that does not cost you all your paycheck. Sometimes you can't afford to take a vacation. And right now, it's hot everywhere. So going on vacation right now, for me, it wouldn't be meaningful because it's so hot everywhere. But planning a weekend trip around town, around the state you live, try to find things that are happening and do them. Taking a long ride in your car. And also, maybe take a course. Take a course in the field that you are to advance your work. Caregivers tell me all the time, I'm just tired, I work so hard and I'm always broke. Then look at the way you spend money. Look at the way you spend money. Budget a little better. Instead of working overtime on your present job, why not take a second job? Number one, you get less tax taken out. You get to move away from that environment and go into another environment. Pardon me for eating, guys, but I'm so hungry and this is the time I have. The platforms are not busy right now, so I decided to just pop in and give a little pep talk because I've been asked to do them so much. So as I said, take time for yourself. Budgeting. Budgeting is so important in 2023. Eat out less, eat at home more. Or if you eat out, plan for it. Take lunch to work. Take lunch to work instead of buying lunch every day. These luxury brand coffee that we're drinking for $6 and $7 and $8 3-4 times a week. Can we make coffee at home? There's so many cute cups out right now that you can make your coffee or your tea and take everywhere with you because these cups are really cute. So what are the things you can do to prevent you from always feeling like you can't make ends meet? Okay, someone just said in the chat, sometimes it's the credit card is the issue. You know, I have nothing against credit cards. But like everything else, we have to use them responsible. We have to use them responsible. I have credit cards. And when my pennies are going down, I don't use them. I have become so disciplined with credit cards that I could be in need of something. I could be in need of something, and I just tell myself, I can't afford it right now. And I have credit card with high limits, but I just tell myself, I can't afford it. Because here's the thing. When you use a credit card, you have to pay the bills every month. And if the paycheck is not going up and the bills are going up, and credit card is a way that we can cut back on, let's look at that. We can cut back on drinking this luxury coffee every day. Let's cut back on that. We can make our lunch and take it to work. I mean, everywhere you go now, especially where I am, a salad can run you $7, $8. I don't frequent these places a lot because I love to cook, and I cook at home, and I really don't eat at these fast food places much. There's one of them when I really want a good Coke, I will go there and treat myself. But if I want some French fries, I just make it. And I was looking at the board, and the person next to me ordered, and it came up to $64. And I said to myself, I could make 4 or 5 meals with $64. And that wasn't judging. I was just, saying to myself, fast food has become so expensive. It has become so expensive. So a part of being overwhelmed and just feeling drained, a big part of it is finance. Another part of it is our home life. If things are not going right at home, you go to work, you have, pardon me. And I hate to say it, people are telling me 20, 30 patients, especially now for the summer, where everyone has cut back the summer. That's right, there comes a time when we have to set up our parameters, because a person will help you, or a family member will help you once, but they also have their own issues. They're not saying it, but they do. So they can't pay your bills every month, and they can't help you out every month. So we have to take some responsibility on how we handle our finances. And I tell you, in this, I know eating out is costly. I mean, if somebody invites me out to eat, I will never say no. I've been like that, though, most of my life. If somebody invite me, especially if it's a good restaurant, I'm not saying no. I'm not, because they're not asking me to marry them. They're just asking me to go out with them for dinner, to talk. I'm not saying no. Because that gets you out of the house, and it gets you doing something. It gets you meeting a new person. But the overwhelmness of the not able to make ends meet, I think 2023, and I don't know if it's me alone, but 2023 is harder to me. Maybe it's where I am, but 2023 is harder. It's harder financially, it's harder on a personal level. It's just a hard year. And taking inventory of our life and looking at the things we do and how we manage our money will make life a little bit less stressful for us. And if you're in a job that you're only there for the money, try to find something else that you enjoy doing, because that type of stress passes out to your coworkers, it passes out to your clients. And going to work and the whole day you're just frumpy, and I've worked with those people. It's hard to work with them when nothing makes them happy. Every time they open their mouth, oh, I can't wait for 6 o'clock. I can't wait for 7 o'clock. I'm sick of this place, but they show up tomorrow morning because they need the paycheck. So let's look at how we manage our life and how that can affect the way we feel at work. Because it's hard out here. It is hard out here. And if you have a lot of emotional issues dealing with, and let me hasten to say this. Emotional issues don't mean you're bunk crazy. It doesn't mean you're bunk crazy. It's just like I have diabetes. And every day I have to get up and stick myself. And there are those days where I just tell myself, I'm sick of this, I'm done with it. I'm not taking my blood sugar today, I'm just done. And in 2-3 hours, I am as sick as a dog. And I have to go and take that. I have to go and stick myself to see where I am. So feeling overwhelmed and feeling mentally drained, find a professional. There are good professionals out there. There are good professionals out there. Find a professional to talk to, because I've always said it and I would continue to say it. When I talk to them, ain't nobody gonna know. And the way it is set up right now, I don't know about any other state, but in the state I live in, you can ask them to put a secret lock on their notes. So if you're in a large practice and you're seeing a life coach, or you're seeing a therapist, you can request that your information be kept private. And they will tell you, we will disclose to your doctor your progress. If you're getting medication, this is important for your doctor to know. And even if you're not taking medication, it's important to know where you stand, because remember, our blood pressure, our sugar levels, our stress level, everything goes up when our mind is not right. And if you have to take a break from people, things, and it that is toxic in your life, take the break. Self-care is first. You can't take care of others, and you guys have heard me say this enough. You can't take care of others until you've learned to take care of yourself. Being selfish is a ministry. It's a blessing. There comes a time when you have to cut back and say, it's about me. It's about me. Thanks for coming on, guys. Thanks for coming on. I hope something here will strengthen you, or something here will, make you feel a little better. So in doing so, if it has helped you or will help you or a friend, could you share? Subscribe for those who has not subscribed, and for those who are on, could you just give me a thumbs up? I appreciate you. Thank you. Angela Lois. Blessed Independence Day. I thought it was yesterday, guys. That's why I didn't say anything. I thought it was yesterday. I didn't get notification again. Angela, I don't know what's going on. I don't know. It has to be something I am doing wrong. Has to be something I'm doing wrong. I'm still working on it. I think I have an idea what it is. I tried to fix it yesterday. But I'll keep working at it. And if you have any idea, Angela, let me know. So, Angela, we're just here, just doing Monday chat. If there's any guys on here, welcome. We're just doing Monday girl chat. I have gotten a lot of requests. I did a quick tip on how to interview and how to get the salary or the hourly pay you're looking for. And several individuals have inboxed me and asked me to talk more. Oh, I see what you're saying, Angela. Okay, so then I'm going to depend on you guys to share for me and invite for me, since it's a YouTube issue. There's a lot of platforms out here now, so I guess YouTube has really slowed down a lot of glitches lately. So we were talking about, so thank you, Angela. So we were talking about just, just everyday issue, coping, just how to cope. So where I am was talking about, if never ever feel that there's nobody to talk to when they're professionals. Maybe you're not comfortable talking to family, or I know for me, sometimes I just get tired of talking. It hurts so much. I just don't want to talk about it. So I tend to isolate. That's not a good thing. I'm not encouraging that. I tend to isolate because I just feel that, literally, I feel that, nobody wants to hear. Doesn't have to be so, but that's my reality. That's how I feel. So I isolate. It's not a good thing. But I also talk with my primary care, and she lends the support that I need. So I'm encouraging anyone that is feeling overwhelmed and just like life is just too hard. And it will get better. It will get better. Not every day is a bad day. Not every week is a bad week. It will get better. And the more we find, the more we let out the pain in a professional environment, the more we will feel. Okay? So working and feeling like you can't get ahead or you're not getting ahead, have to really look at how you're spending. Look at how you're spending. Look again. Look at everything that is going on in your life. Kids problem, husband problem, boyfriend problem, family problems. Try to decrease those stresses. Try to decrease those stresses. It's hard to, several times last week, I have not been feeling well for weeks. This is the best I've felt today. And several times I want to go out and ride my bike or go out and mountain climb, because that's what gives me, a little jolt. And it's so hot you can't go anywhere. It's so hot you can't go anywhere. Last night, all of a sudden my sheet felt like they were on fire. And I got up and I said, oh, silly goose, you didn't put the AC down. Because at night I sleep with my AC at about 70. That's when I'm comfortable. I have my sheet, I have my blanket, and I have a comforter. And I put the AC at 70, sometimes 68. I don't know what it is. I have to have all those things. So I got up, and the light on the thermostat was out. My thermostat doesn't use batteries. And the house felt like 200 degrees. It's a good thing I always have an emergency oscillator fan. That thing moves the air and comes back out to you. So cool. And I went in my closet and I dug that thing up late in the night and I said, you are not going to let this bother you tonight. Child, we can say that, can't we? And it's not all that bad. It's not all that bad at all. Because some of what is going around now, singleness seems to be the way to go. Angela, don't get me started on that. Don't get me started on that, because I saw on Facebook yesterday, one of the second largest platforms in Jamaica, the producer, he was just beyond himself because somebody that he held dear to him was allegedly killed by their lover. Go ahead, Angela. Preach, girl. So, relationship problem, I don't know, that's a whole different ball game. It's like there's no peace. The person allegedly filed for divorce and then end up losing her life. So life is hard. But again, and I'm encouraging myself too. I've said it before, this platform has really given me better insight into how I deal with my pain and how I progress. And if we look around us at every news and everything, we will never be happy. So we have to focus on God. We have to focus on the people around us that appreciates us. And as small as it may be, appreciate that and use that as your wings to fly. Because it's not easy. It's not easy. I'm telling you, Angela, I'm telling you, it is so, so true. It is so, so true. And those of us that believe in a God and believe that He changes things and believe that He loves us regardless of who we are and how people think of us, He loves us. And when we're wrong, we do everything to apologize and move on and be the better person. So talking about being overwhelmed on the job and feel like you're working for nothing, it encompasses a lot. It encompasses a lot. And we have to take responsibility. Because I've never been in that position. Or maybe I was too clueless to recognize it, where I'm working and I can't make it. Maybe I was too clueless and I didn't recognize it. I've never had my first job, and I'm so proud of it. And I'm so mad that in moving, I lost it. My first job was Burger King. My first job came into this country when I got to 18 years old. My first job was Burger King. I had that paycheck in a frame forever. I think I worked the whole week and I made $8, and that was that was the happiest paycheck I've ever had. That was the happiest paycheck I've ever had. And I had that check, but moving around, you lose things. I was the best burger flipper because back in the days, when you get a job at Burger King, you had to start in the back or cleaning tables. You just don't get to a cashier. And child, I was the best burger flipper in New York. And then as I moved up, I became a cashier. Then I became a head cashier. Then I started looking into going to school. And that was my first job. And I'm still proud of it until this day. I left there. I went back to school. Then I got a job at the hospital. And I stayed at the hospital until a couple years ago. And I was the happiest chipmunk on the block working at Burger King because I had my own money. So when I went to the hospital and I got a paycheck for $120, $200, I felt like I was a millionaire. And one of the things about me is I look like I spend a lot of money, but I don't. I'm a bargain hunter. I am hitting the clearance rack. And I tell people this all the time. Shopping at Neiman Marcus, Saks Fifth Avenue, and all those stores, going into that clearance section they have, it's not as good as it used to be. And I don't need to shop anymore because I have so much stuff. But when you go in that clearance section, when these people buy these beautiful dresses and they wear them and then they bring them back and talk about it didn't work for me. That was the most common phrase I heard in New York when people were taking things back. Oh, it didn't work for me. It didn't fit me the way. And they have a little smudge in them and they put them in that rack. 50, 75% off. Girlfriend is getting it and she's heading to the cleaners. And she's heading to the cleaners. So to decrease the overwhelmness, there's so many things that we need to do, because sometimes it's not just the job that creates that overwhelmingness. I know, right, Angela? I tell you, I would do anything to get those days back. And when you buy a pizza, I think a pizza was like 10 cents. Oh, I'm just aging myself, but I'm proud of my age anyway. I think a pizza was 10 cents. And you go buy a pizza, that thing was so good. Now, at the time, when you work at fast food restaurant, that time meat was meat. So you taste that succulent burger. At the time, you get your lunch free. And if you know somebody, the cook, he slide your burger when you're going home and some French fries. Those were the days, boy. Those were the days. And then when I got to the hospital, I remember my first job was Harlem Hospital in New York. I kept that job for years. And they would bring in the free donuts. And we had Jamaican restaurants in the area that would drop off food for the night shift. Girlfriend, I was on that line because that is saving me from buying lunch. I was on that line in the lunchroom. So there's so many things we can do to decrease stress and to let our money work for us. Let our money work for us. I remember my first car. I'll never forget it. My first car was a Ford Taurus. I was young, 21, 23, somewhere there. It was a Ford Taurus. And I remember the union that we had in New York. When you go rent an apartment, when you go buy things, and you tell them you're a part of that union, we can give you a discount. We can give you a discount. We can give you a discount. So, use your coupons, guys. Use your coupons. Coupons still come in the paper. I was an avid couponer. When I was raising my children, I would ask my neighbors to save their coupons for me. You know that packet that coupon used to come in? I used to ask my neighbors to serve it, and I used to ask my coworker to bring them to me. And I remember going to the store and my bill come up to $180, $150, and I'm paying $45. I was an avid couponer. If toothpaste is on sale, I don't buy one, I buy 10, because toothpaste is not gonna go bad. So I'll have them so I'm not spending. I know. But back in the 80s, we get free lunch. We get free lunch, free donuts, free pizza. The stores in the area would bring them to the emergency room and give to us. And we were just a different breed of employees and co-workers. Because I used to have a co-worker, she would bring a whole pot of rice and peas in. And she said, hey guys, I got food in the lunchroom, okay, for everybody. And then it just went like wildfire. Another person would come in, and even I got caught up in it, and we would have lunch. But it's not like that anymore. The work environment has gotten so hard and so negative. So we have to make sure that whatever we can do in our life to make our home life and our life, our social life and spiritual life, your spiritual life helps you to cope. And I'm not talking about just going to church. I'm talking about having a relationship with God. It helps you to cope. Because sometimes when life throws rocks at me, I just turn to God and say, okay, so what are you going to do about this? Because I'm tired. So I hope I've answered the question, how do you cope with working and still can't make ends meet? And let me talk about this other issue too, because I've seen that, especially living in New York. It's very rare, Sharon, but we have to keep our chins up. We have to keep our chins up. One of the things that I found when I live in New York, people rent apartments that they cannot afford. And I heard, I can't remember the name of a speaker. I heard a renowned speaker said, if you can keep your rent down, your paycheck will work for you. And it's true, especially raising children. I'm not saying to go live any and anywhere because I have never done it. But especially when children, especially single people, single persons, find apartments that might not be in the perfect area you want right now, but it's safe. It might not have all the glitz and the glams, but the area is safe. When I was raising my children, I remember living in a one-bedroom while I was going to college. I remember living in a one-bedroom. I put the children in the bedroom because I want them to be comfortable. I had a pink, the girls were in the area that is pink, and I would put a pink rug on the ground, and then my son was in that area, and it was 2 windows in the room, and I remember. So one set of the room would have pink curtains because that's where the girls' bed is. And then I would put a chest of drawer in the middle. And over on the other side would have a blue curtain because that's where my son is. And I would put, that time, Woolworth. God, I'm aging myself for those people who were from New York. That time Woolworth was around. And you could go to Woolworth and Alexander's and get the best stuff on sale. And I would put a blue carpet over there, and that's his side. That time television was like $10 and $15. He had his television, they have their television. And I would bunk in the living room. So I'm not saying anything I haven't experienced. And I stayed there and I finished college. And I remember when I finished college, I didn't even wait for promotion. I went and got me the best 3-bedroom in the best area of the Bronx. Because at that time, I was out of college. I can now work 2 jobs, and I can afford to pay a little more for rent. Now, someone told me, we were talking a couple of weeks ago, that their rent was $1,200 and the lease expired and the rent is now $2,000. I don't know what I would do. I don't know what I would do if I had to pay rent that high. So we have to look at different ways of living, different type of housing. All these things contribute to our frustration on the job and our stresses on the job. All these things contribute to it. And imagine having 3, 4 children as a single mom, not getting any support or minimal support financially. I can't even fathom how I would cope with that. And I was a single mother because I got divorced and I had to finish raising the children by myself. But I had education. I would work at an emergency room at night as a emergency room patient care technician from 11 to 7. And I would go home. I think I told this story before. I would go home because I live near the hospital. I always live near my jobs. And I would take an hour rest. And I would get up and I have to be at the county from 9 o'clock until 5. And lunchtime, instead of eating 10 dumplings and half a jerk chicken, I went in my car and I slept the first half an hour. And then I would go grab something to eat. So guys, it gets better. But planning ahead. If you're in your 30s, 20s, start putting away even $10 every payday in a special account. Start putting it away. So when you get into your 50s and 60s, you have something else. Designer pocketbooks and designer shoes and designer this and designer, and I wear them. I love them. I am a designer monkey. But what I'm saying is, if you can't afford it, don't worry about what somebody else is wearing. And this is where we have issues where we cannot meet our needs. Because you know where you're getting it from, but you don't know where the next person is. And you don't know their situation. Maybe they have a support system that you don't have. So guys, I gotta go. Angela, thanks for joining. Sharon, thanks for joining. And everyone else that is on, that is not in the chat, and those that are in the chat, thank you for joining. I hope these little nuggets Thank you. Thank you, Angela. I hope my little nuggets help. And if we all take responsibilities for our behavior and our attitudes, we can make a difference. You guys have a blessed rest of your day. And thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.